We're gonna do things a little bit out of order. We're gonna do this, then we'll shift over to Lore Corner before we get on out of here. But of course, first question, you know him, you love him. Andre wrote into us this week, really sent us in a video. We're gonna have to start retweeting these videos he sends us because he's putting more and more effort into them.
Yes. So, Andre, I know you're listening. If you could like somehow Dropbox these videos to me so we can kind of feature them on our Twitter or our YouTube channel or something, that would be awesome.
He, John, for reference, Andre wrote into us last week and sent it to us from the duality dungeon from the Kaido fight.
I saw.
It was great. This week's is from Nessus, and it's an improvised skit where he's saying he's teaming up with Damage and Paul Tassi.
Yeah,
it was pretty great. But the gist of what Andre asked us this week is, guys, what is your favorite kinetic exotic weapon and why? And then what is your favorite ornament as well? John, I'm putting you on the spot. You're the guest. You get to go first.
All right. Favorite kinetic exotic weapon. There's at least 9 hand cannons floating around in my head. But I'm going to say right now in the current meta, it's got to be Outbreak Perfected. Mm-hmm. I think it's just so strong after all the changes and just where the meta's at right now.
Yeah.
For both single target damage and
I would say it doesn't have to be current meta. I would say like overall favorite exotic. 'Cause I know overall your favorite exotic is not Outbreak Perfected.
No, overall my favorite exotic is this here, Thorn. In all of Destiny, my favorite exotic is Thorn. So okay, if we're not, that'll
no, not current meta. Not current meta. Does not have to be current meta.
Thorn. We all know what a pain in the ass exotics were to get in Destiny 1. Yep. Thorn had a quest, a painful quest, a painful, torturous, arduous quest, but it had a quest, and I got it, and I fell in love with it. And then in Destiny 2, they went around and took an entire year to tell a good story about 2 hand cannons, and Thorn is one of those hand cannons, and I just adore it.
All right, and favorite ornament for an exotic primary. I'm going to say this doesn't have to be limited to the gun that you picked.
Okay, absolutely the Hive Wither Horde ornament that they made, where it changes the front of it to like a glowing skull and it has the glowing Hive runes all around it.
That's exactly what's on my Wither Horde right now. That I was using with my Titan and Iron Banner. It's every time a Wither Horde ornament comes up, I buy it, and Chelsea's like, "Why are you getting that? You don't even use that gun." I was like, "No, stop it! They all look so good."
Sometimes an ornament's so good, you're like, "I'm gonna figure out how to bring this weapon back." The Izanagi's Burden ornament that looks like a giant Final Fantasy sword. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, I haven't used Izanagi's Burden in 2 years. I'm buying this ornament for money, and I will figure out how to make Izanagi's work. Damn it.
Yeah, that's just the most ridiculous ornament that I think I've ever seen in this game. Short of like giving me an actual toaster for Jotun. That's the most wild thing I think we've ever seen.
If they ever do that, they have to have a little power cord hanging off of it, floating in the wind. You know,
I would love to like just like if somebody sees you like in third person, like you're pulling on the cord to launch it. Corey, hit me with your favorite exotic primary, why it's your favorite, and your favorite exotic primary ornament.
Sweet business.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
That is the most Titan-ass answer.
To be fair, though, in Leviathan Raid, that was like the meta, though, right?
Time and place.
Oh, that and Cold Heart, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, those weapons, man.
Cold Heart was a heavy weapon. Dark times.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I shouldn't say this, but Outbreak Perfected is like the best. I love that weapon so much. I love the way
you should never feel guilty for it. That is a beloved weapon across both games. 2 of the most memorable Destiny quests ever revolved around this weapon. Some of the best ornaments ever. Some of the best memories, and it's god tier. It is the best pulse rifle in the entire game.
Yeah, it's so good. And like I remember when we got Outbreak Prime in Wrath of the Machine raid, like us as a raid team figuring it out, and then the fact that it came back and had a equally cool mission
0 Hour was awesome.
was just, it was so cool. And like right now that I rarely take it off. I just, unless I absolutely need to, like I rarely take it off. It's to the point where like I don't know what to use if I'm not using Outbreak Perfected sometimes. But also shout out to Chaperone.
Old
I hate you
Clapperone.
so much. You are like the antithesis of everything good in life right now.
I know.
Look,
So.
shotgun should be able to one-hit kill from 38 meters. It's fine.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a slug. It's fine.
Corey, give me your favorite ornament for an exotic primary in the game.
Man, so I don't really like any of the Outbreak Perfected ornaments. To be honest.
Not
You don't
even
like
the trial
any
one?
of the? Oh my god!
No,
Ew!
I like the normal look of the gun.
Oh.
There?
There's a couple for multi-tool that I like, even though I haven't used multi-tool in like, I don't know, 5 years. That's like the Spec Ops one, the all black one with like the green dot sight is cool.
Yeah.
The Arctic camo one is cool. Let's see. I also really like the wrap ornament for Dead Man's Tail. Is also a really cool ornament.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I guess for my pick, I was leaning Outbreak because of the memories associated with the gun. Trevor especially.
Oh no.
Why hasn't he been a nightmare? We've done nightmares like.
I mean, really though, really, if you had a nightmare for my hunter, it's either Trevor or it's Nerd Generalist's ass getting in the way of my Celestial Nighthawk. Those are the only two options. The
That
best
seems
I
like a
think was when
nightmare
we were
for
doing
him.
Vault one day, and he was standing at the front of the well, and Max and I are both crouched trying not to die behind John's shield, and Nerd jumps in front of not one but both of us as we fire our golden guns. And he's like, why didn't we do enough damage? We're like, you jumped in front of us. That's why.
Ass down during DPS. Anyway.
Ass down. Yeah, dude. Ass up, man. The hunters in the back need to see. I would say Dead Man's Tale is my pick here. It's such a cliche answer, and I don't feel good about
I
it.
don't think it's cliche. It hasn't even been in the game for a year.
I think that
it's already gone unless you buy it from Xur now.
How unique the gun is. I mean, when we first saw it, we're like, cowboy rifle. Tex Machina made a scout rifle? I was
the
so
longest
excited
word.
to go get this thing. And then finding out that you got it at the end of the mission, just for doing the exotic mission, and how important that mission has now become retroactively to the entire storyline, with you discovering the Crown of Sorrow, discovering what happened to Catabasis. That was the first hint of what Callus would become. The story of Catabasis' ghost. We read a lot of the captain's log last year on the
Figuring
show.
out what to do with the Scorn as you vault the Tangled Shore.
The Aragorn. We encountered Aragorn for the first time. Now that's a mechanic that we're using all the time. I'm very, very, very excited for this. I love where the story is going. I love that Dead Man's Tale is such an intricate part of that. And I think it's just so unique among guns. It's really as last word as a rifle in a lot of ways.
Tex Machina doesn't miss, man. It's they only make bangers.
In terms of my favorite ornament, though, for a primary, I'm going to Corey and I are going to swap places here. I'm going to say it's the Pandemic ornament for Outbreak Perfected.
That's the green and yellow one, right?
No, that might be. The one I'm thinking of, God, now I can't remember.
Is it the one with
hold Jim back up?
It's like this gray cover for the entire gun. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, it's this gray one with like pieces missing. Patient Zero.
Yeah.
Patient Zero. Chunks of it are missing. It looks like it's kind of like corroded from like nanites. I saw that the second I got Outbreak out of the mission. John and I had run it. I got it, and I says, That's it. I'm spending silver for the first time ever in this game. This thing is silver only. It started me down a dark path of microtransactions.
That's
John's exact words to me were, "Fuck it, take a shot and do it." So I took a shot and had to explain why I spent $8 for a skin on a gun. I'm still very happy.
The Eververse is your fault, Josh.
I have gotten the Trials ornament for this, which I feel like I can put on. I'm like Thor. I'm worthy of it now. I'm still worthy. I used it temporarily after I did go to the lighthouse using Outbreak for a few matches. A couple seasons ago, back when it wasn't very good.
I'm so baffled.
But I like the Matter Scourge. I like a lot of the ornaments for this gun. I just think it's so cool to map those patterns on, and it's the only exotic that I've ever sat there and looked at and gone, man, I'm actually really glad that I can't ruin this by putting shaders on. But yeah, one of my all-time favorite weapons. If I had to pick a different ornament, though, man, it has to be the Hive Runes. It has to be the Hive Runes on Witherwood.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got to be that one from Season of the Splicer. That's it. No, that what is it? Bound in Sorrow or Whispers of Sorrow for Thorn is another really good one. There's two really good ones. The Bone one, then there's the Taken ornament.
Yeah.
Malfeasance has some great ones.
Hell, while we're on spooky, not technically Weapons of Sorrows, the Whisper of the Worm has some really banger ornaments.
We'll see. We're going to get to that, though, because Andre says this is the first in a series of questions that he has for us that are going to kind of follow this pattern.
Well, keep up the good work, because I did see that Nessus video today on Twitter on my lunch break, and good shit.
I enjoyed it a lot. Our second question, Corey, do we know who sent this to us on Instagram?
I do. Hold on. Let me whip it out.
I messaged you. I'm guessing that it didn't pop. I want to make sure we attribute this correctly, but I'm going to go ahead and read the questions while you're investigating that. We got a comment and then we got a question. Hey guys, just started a new episode. I know you probably get some hate mail for talking about hard topics like that, but I love that you guys do. I want to clarify, if we do get any, I've never seen it. So
I don't think we do.
I don't think we ever have. I think it's a really respectful community, and we've told you since day one who we are. Uncompromising. We're not going to be, we talk about human issues here. We talk about things that affect all of us. We're community, and I'm not going to be like, oh, we're a family here. No, we're people who play a video game. Okay. Scott Seiss is a great stand-up comedian he's the IKEA guy, and he has one. We're a family here. No, we're not. We're co-workers. This isn't a Vin Diesel movie. This isn't Fast $10 an hour. That's how I feel whenever I hear people say, we're a family in this game. No, we're a community. We come here. We have a podcast to hang out, chill, talk with each other. There are serious topics we want to get to. And it goes on to say, first heard your podcast, it was during the Me Too movement, I believe, and I said, fuck yeah, I like these guys, and became a fan. I know the news sucks and it's awful to talk about, but thanks for keeping strong and being outspoken. I got a long question, but it's a little bit of theory crafting, and I'm really glad we have John here for this one. We got hints at Callus returning and Rasputin coming back in Witch Queen and Season 16 lore, and now we actually got Callus back. We know the next season we are getting a reprised raid from Destiny 1, and we know that Bungie wants the returning raid to be tied to current events in Destiny 2. Everyone jumped on the wagon that Kingsfall was returning with Witch Queen. But if the next season is Rasputin themed, do you think it's more likely Wrath of the Machine comes back over Kingsfall?
I mean, as long
Corey,
as
do we have who this comes from?
This is from Jacob Brazale, I think. Brazzale. Sorry, I guess I didn't need to spell your name on the podcast.
Jacob, thank you so much for writing in with that. I love that we have John here to help me answer this, though. He may be the only other guy I know who, as soon as a lore page drops, we're immediately texting each other, being like, oh my god, did you see? Oh my god! We're usually playing the story mission together on Tuesdays, just freaking out. And I think that poor Amanda's over here just like, oh my god, you two need to calm down. We're like,
I'm just trying to get breakfast.
To answer your question, though, Jacob, I kind of started kicking this around last season thinking oh my god, are they going to pull a fast one on us? And I got to say, I think it's 50-50 right now, for me personally, because we do know a Rasputin themed season is coming. But I think that if Siva were to return in some way, that would be more of a herald for Wrath of the Machine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My issue with Wrath is both of these raids are something that the D1 players have been begging for and asking for, and I do think Wrath comes to the game sooner rather than later. I want to be really clear about that. But I think a Siva season is still a ways off because there has to be a story reason for Siva to exist again.
Yeah.
We kind of wrapped it up nice and neatly. Like a Rasputin season, sure, but I just personally I don't see Wrath of the Machine as being Rasputin adjacent. That is the story of, the Archons and things like that. With King's Fall, I think King's Fall is the more likely one to come back because they already subverted the expectations once with us not having Savathun as the raid boss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So give us it'll allow us to kind of recenter the plot line a little bit. But see, then again, I start going back on myself, and we're going to get into it in Lore Corner. I really think next season has to bring us back to the Mithrax plot line.
Yeah.
And we're overdue for a check-in on that. We know that the Splicers are aboard the Leviathan right now, helping Kaido's troops. It is truly a coalition between Zavala, Mithrax, Saint, Saladin, Kaido, Eris, like Marasov. Everyone's really coming together, like the last-ditch remnants of all these factions to stand against the Witness. And I don't know. I think there could be a story way to bring this in because eventually we're going to have to deal with what Immaru is up to. We never quite dealt with him.
Yeah.
Savathun she's not dead.
Nope.
Yeah.
She's going to be rezzed. He can go res her at any time he wants. And guess what? We're keeping her body in the tower.
It's a stupid
right
idea.
there for everybody.
Hey, it's not a stupid idea. It's no more or less stupid than building a portal to the Vex dimension or whatever right there
This is
on
the
the
tower. This is not Ripley's Believe It or Not, okay? We are not charging five silver a head to Fenchurch to see the wonders of the pyramid. Okay, that's not what this is. Like, we know that there is still a story to be told with the Throne World. But the reason the Throne World still exists is because it's tied to the light.
Yeah.
So I think inevitably we have to deal with the Dreadnought at some point. That is a big gaping hole there. And with them bringing the Leviathan back as a little patrol zone, there is absolutely nothing that prevents us from getting a section of the Dreadnought back and giving us one of the strikes back. Maybe there's nothing that prevents this. Like it is wide open. And I want to cite Luke Smith's comments that he made in an interview. I apologize, I don't have the interview offhand. He gave this interview yesterday evening, and it got published this morning. I saw it, where he was talking about the New Light experience and how when we get to the final shape, we really want to rev the engines on the new player experience again and make it accessible for everyone. We know there's a codename Goliath project that's coming. And that was the big thing that we saw in the GDC document, like right after final shape. I'm inching more and more towards the belief that is the cloud solution for playing the entire Destiny story. And I think that's where you're going to get any remaining things that did not fit into the storyline are going to be brought forward. Mm-hmm. We're currently missing 3 raids. And if they keep with the pattern, I do think we're going to get the reprised raids are going to be here. I think they're going to have to shy away from Crota, partially because I believe the moon's getting vaulted with Lightfall. So why bring Crota back for like 6 months? And that's foolishness.
Yeah, but they brought Vault back and Venus doesn't exist.
That's true. They did do it within its own little sphere.
We saw
I think that
maps
was really
on Titan, silly.
I just think it would be really silly to bring it back and be like, "Hey guys, you're still going to the moon, but we vaulted the moon." That would be a little silly. Just saying. I don't like the idea of that. Part of it is I really want King's Fall back. But I think the story to like rationalize like, oh, if Immaru is messing around, maybe we have to go back to the Dreadnought to stop it because he's trying to rally some ghosts to see if they can res Oryx.
Oh,
God. There's nothing that says that doesn't happen, and it wouldn't be the first time we stopped a ritual to bring Oryx back. That's what the Pit of Heresy is about.
Mm-hmm.
So to answer your question, Jacob, I do think that it is King's Fall over Wrath, but I'm only like 60-40. I'm no longer like this is 80-20 like I was at the end of last season.
Yeah. And before we got the reveal of what the season was going to be about, I would have placed money that the new dungeon was going to be about finding Rasputin.
Yeah.
Josh probably remembers better than I do, but there was lore last season about Anna talking or having the mind flayers like try to find Rasputin's mind and talking about some facility, some place that even Ikora's Hidden had no idea existed. So I think that was my guess, was that this season that's what the dungeon was going to be, was us helping reboot Rasputin, basically.
Yeah, I think that has to be the subject of a dungeon. I
Yeah.
don't think that's something you just do in a story mission. That would be dumb for that to be thrown away like that. But I don't think it needs to be a raid either.
Yeah.
So maybe a
special mission like Dead Man's Tale.
Yeah, that's what I was going on. I could definitely see a special kind of mission, or like maybe like part A and part B mission or something. It's like that.
But that could definitely be the dungeon we're getting in season 19, you know?
True. Fair.
I would say one more piece of evidence that kind of leads me to believe that Wrath is not coming back is the fact that we got the raid exotic that was tied to it already in Outbreak Perfected.
Uh-huh.
I think that's the most damning piece of evidence for me, is that we already have Outbreak Perfected.
I mean, unless you want to give people who didn't get it another way to get it besides buying it.
I think that would cause a low-key, like, a riot in the tower around Zavala. We would be throwing Zavala from the tower at that point, I think.
Whoa, Zavala didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
No, but he can just eat back up, and Luke Smith can take over his body temporarily for Lance Reddick. I think that would cause a lot of problems in the community, because that is a gun that was readily available for years. If you went and did 0 hour, yes, it was difficult to get, but it was not that hard to do with an LFG or to find people who could shepherd you through it. And now going and getting it from the kiosk, it's hands down one of like the 3 or 4 best weapons you can buy out of the kiosk. I think that would, I don't know. I guess part of this is me like being kind of a brat about it. I would be personally annoyed. Yeah. Maybe if there wasn't like a masterwork for it already. Oh, you could go into masterwork from doing the raid. Like, okay.
No, they have to make a new exotic or pick something.
And they made it very. I believe they've made it clear that the only existing Siva that we still have that has not been destroyed, either in the heist on the tower or by us in the raid, is stored away on one of the Exodus. The Exodus Black on Nessus, I believe, has samples of Siva. All the others have been destroyed, but I do believe that is the one colony ship that had some, according to the old lore. And I have, our gun has it. Yes, John.
Exotic Siva Glaive. Just blew your mind.
I'll take it.
I'd be okay with that, but John, here's my problem with that though. How would the Fallen from Destiny 1, because we have to remember that's when this takes place. Like, Vault of Glass is different. That takes place outside of time and space. That is a recurring fight, is us fighting Atheon. This, though, you'd be fighting the Archons again, and the glaive is a relic of Rulk. That's a relic of his people. That's
humans had glaives.
Not in Destiny 1 we didn't, so I'm sticking with it. And I do think that genuinely, I think doing a Siva weapon that doesn't fire in like a particle, the one I will make I would make an exception for would be a Siva trace rifle. Because I think that would logically make the most sense after the pulse.
Straight beam.
That would have to be an exotic.
That's making me feel some sort of way, Josh.
But I'd almost like for that to be like, I don't know, like a Rasputin. I feel like if we did a Rasputin season, we would get a new glaive, but it would be similar to the javelins we used on Mars. Give us some of those types of effects or something. Either way, though, let vote on it. I still think it's King's Fall, but it's not definitely not as sure as it once was. John?
It better be King's Fall, just because I really want to play King's Fall and I never got to in D1.
Corey, I feel like I know your vote right off the bat.
I mean, yeah.
It's King's Fall. If you've ever listened to our raid rankings, it's King's Fall, people.
I want King's Fall. I wouldn't say no to Wrath, but also as long as it's not Leviathan, which some people are saying, I would just
it makes sense because they brought back the space.
Yeah.
But I think Bungie has to know people would literally real life would turn into the subreddit if next season's returning raid was Leviathan or Crown of Sorrow or Spire or they can bring them back at some point, and I wish they would because I miss them. But no, after 2 years of, hey, you're going to get Vault of Glass next year, and the year after that, you're going to get another beloved returning raid, and they show up with
Leviathan. Beloved does not necessarily invoke
I'm pretty sure
Leviathan.
They fit the D1.
The only raid, I mean, none of the raids that were vaulted are, in my opinion, beloved.
Yeah.
You got 2 Leviathan raids, 2 raid layers, which if they ever brought those back, I think would be dungeons. I think that's fair to say.
Mm-hmm.
Just change mechanics up a little bit. And then Scourge the Past? Who really wants Scourge the Past back? Let's be honest. Like, yeah, it was fun, but we've had other heists now. And we've had better stories told.
I just think like King's Fall is the grandest, it's definitely the most challenging raid I think I've ever done. Like it's I mean, you were using the Destiny 1 mechanics too on top of that.
Yeah. Like that was before, like that was after Galahorn got nerfed. Like we were sitting there using LMGs and snipers against a god.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah. So King's Fall, but definitely it's not as certain as we have been. I am definitely closer to the 50-50 mark than I've ever been. I'm still going to say like 65-25, maybe 65-35. However the math, that's 65-35 is probably where I fall. I would need to see some more lore developments this season, though, to convince me that we're going to get Rasputin immediately.
I feel like another big indicator is there'd be Rasputin or Siva things in the Eververse. I know like they like to...
I mean, there's been plenty of Siva things. I think that your biggest indicator would be it would need to be closer to an expansion, because us firing up Rasputin, I feel, would be like a year-ending event on the level of the Exorcism. It would be something we would be building to. And I think that if we go to like our lowest during Lightfall, like say the tower gets destroyed, okay, like we've theorized. Mm-hmm. Let's say that one of our first steps after saving our people, obviously, is okay. We're scattered. We're in Dead Orbit's fleet now. We have to power up Rasputin. The Witness uncovered Mars. Let's go back to the Braytech facility. Let's fire up Rasputin again. You know, Anna's gonna go there and be like surrounded by the Hidden or something
let's do one last round of escalation protocol just to feel something.
We're moving on. We're moving on. We're going to Lore Corner, guys.
Lore Corner.
That's not me being glib either. I just looked at the time. We are definitely moving to Lore Corner. We had fun with the questions, but we are